1, 2, 3, 4.
Left 4 Dead 2, an absolutely amazing zombie FPS game. Its style and gameplay just keep making players come back to this game over and over, even 16 years after its release. A game this old should not be hitting this hard on our gamer souls, but what can I say? This game is just built different. Once you open the game, the intro cutscene immediately tells you what you're supposed to do.
Kill all sons of bitches. That's my official instructions.
Just as the zombies, or infected as what the game calls them, do not pull any punches, you as the player should never hesitate to do the same. It's got one of the most insanely batshit brutal depictions of a zombie apocalypse, and it's caused the green flu to the point that it's being talked about as one of the worst type of apocalypses to happen in real life. So this got me thinking, what if we do the opposite? What if we decide to channel the souls of incredibly brain-rotten stupid pacifists and not kill a single infected in our way? Ladies and gentlemen, Asher Spark25 here, or just call me Asher, whatever. And today we're gonna find out if it's possible to beat Left 4 Dead 2 without killing a single infected. Now, before we proceed to the challenge, let me explain some things first. This challenge was actually already done by 3 different YouTubers, Barely Alec, LZeta, and Tibor. On Barely Alec's video, they only did Dead Center, but they set it on expert difficulty. They had 3 human players in the lobby and 1 bot. Hang on a second, chicken ninjas in this video? Holy shit! How does this video only have 3.9k views? That's freaking insane. On LZeta's video, he did all of the Left 4 Dead 2 maps except Coldstream.
Huh?
Yeah, f off, no one likes you.
Oh, come on, man.
And he did it completely solo. Well, most of the time. He had to resort to using bots on holdout finales. And honestly, this entire video is very impressive. Even though the entire video is in Spanish, which I do not understand.
El día de hoy decidí retarme a mí mismo a intentar pasarme el clásico Left 4 Dead 2, pero con un pequeño cambio. No puedo matar zombies.
I can pretty much still understand what he was doing in the video. And finally, we had Tibor, and his approach was basically the same as mine. He also only did 1 map, which is Dead Center, and he added vanilla bots in the game. Unfortunately, he had to call it on Chapter 2 because the challenge proved to be a lot more difficult than he anticipated. I thought of just cancelling this video because it was already done by multiple people, but eventually I just thought to myself, fuck it, just do it for the love of the game. As for my approach for this challenge, rule number 1, bots are allowed, but only vanilla bots. No bot add-ons are allowed. Rule number 2, I must beat the entire campaign. This means that I must beat all of the maps of both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, including the DLCs, which has a total of 14 campaign maps. If by any point in our current campaign map we have killed an infected, whether intentional or unintentional, we must restart the entire map. No questions asked, all I can do is cry about it. And finally, the most important rule of all, in order for us to proceed to the next map, the credit scene must explicitly state that we had exactly 0 kills in our current map. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the rules. With all that out of the way, let's finally start this madness. Despite No Mercy usually being regarded as an easy map, for this challenge it was actually a bit difficult simply due to the fact that it has 5 chapters. On the first chapter, getting out of the apartment ended up being the harder part due to the tight spaces, and facing commons in this challenge is quite problematic. Although of course I'm not gonna shoot the infected, they are still much more fragile than you might think. Shoving knocks them away, and is usually regarded as a non-lethal attack, but shoving a common infected too much actually kills them. This even works on special infected except the tank, witch, and charger. And if that wasn't enough, shoving a common infected directly on the wall kills it. Hell, there's even a very rare chance of them dying in one shove while not even being close to a wall.
Boat? Not that boat, Francis.
What? Are you fucking Oh my god. Anyways, after getting out of the apartment, it's just a quick dash to the safe room. The beginning of chapter 2 was a bit worrying because of the drop and the sheer amount of commons in the way. Reason is that you can also kill commons by simply stepping on them. Yeah, you were telling me that these common infected that can climb through metal fences like nothing can die from one step. Nice. I had to aggro them and let the bots do the killing for me. After that, the director decided to do a funny and spawn a witch on our way. I managed to avoid the witch. The bots, however, not so much. And if that wasn't enough, a minute later we also encountered our first tank. After barely juking him and cutting a smoker's tongue in the process, the bots managed to kill him quickly. This will become a prevalent problem, as the director can be a bitch sometimes, spawning tanks and witches on the most inconvenient spots. A little bit later, we finally came across our very first event. While players usually camp on this part for this event, I had a different approach and went down this hole and used the rescue closet in the corner. This was more effective on handling the Horde on practice but makes us more vulnerable to spitters and chargers. However, it was a risk I'm willing to take. After the event, I used this well-known skip right here and made a mad dash to the safe house. Nobody is coming to save us, they are going to bomb the city. The beginning of chapter 3 gives us a bunch of useful supplies to prepare us for our first main roadblock for this challenge, the Scissor Lip Crescendo event. If you didn't know, crescendo events require players to do a specific task in order to progress, but will summon an infinite horde that will only stop once they reach a specific spot. Needless to say, combining this with our restrictions, this was super annoying. All it takes is one common slap for you to get swarmed. Sure, you can shove them, but I will only do that if the bots are either too far or being incompetent twats. The randomness of commons dying in one shove is such an issue that sometimes it's better to be swarmed for as long as I can until the bots can get rid of them. I managed to barely squeeze my way through the hordes and camp on this spot until the horde was done. And then a tank spawned right after. Wait, is that the tank is right there, what the hell? And then a witch. Well, thankfully we were able to get around her by using the mini tunnels. The infected realized that the director was being an inconsiderate asshole and decided to help us. I mean, look at the spitter guiding us through the tunnels. And no common spawn in front of the hospital. Chapter 4 was very annoying. This entire chapter is filled to the brim with enclosed spaces and close combat. My fire ask is sure edging for kills right now. Nothing really special happened until the elevator holdout event, except that getting there took longer than usual because these motherfuckers are obsessed on spawning on the way. The best strategy for this event is to camp on this room right here because all the infected will be coming from one side, making the holdout significantly easier. However, I wasn't able to do this since not only you will always have to kill a few infected on the way from activating the elevator, you can even order the bots to stay in one place despite having in-game voice command, which is really f***ing dumb. I know that bot add-ons make this possible, but that just makes it even more dumb. Why just can't this be a vanilla feature? Especially due to the fact that vanilla bots performance is so f***ing terrible. In fact, it's so bad that they made the game restart a chapter when a player dies, despite 1, the bots are still alive, and 2, defibrillators exist in this game. Because they're so f***ing incompetent that they literally cannot take care of themselves. I just ended up using this spot instead, and although things got pretty rough for us, we still managed to get through. Now to the roof. It's just a minute of walking before we arrive at the safe room. Surely there's nothing that can block our way, right? Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, there goes Lewis. Rip. Oh, there he is. Nice, find him, I guess. Bro had an ender pearl stasis chamber. The finale was not too bad, honestly. Boy, this isn't versus. Shut the f up. I wasn't able to fully utilize the good spots because of Vanillabot shenanigans, and I ended up choosing this spot right here. Because similar to the optimal spot on the elevator holdout event on chapter 4, the commons will be coming on one side. Mostly. I did have to watch out for smokers and speeders, as they're the ones that can cause big problems. And as for the tank fights, all I can really do is lure the tank and try to juke him around. Which is easier said than done because what in the actual fucking shit are these bots doing? Might as well make out with a tank if you're into that shit. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to do in the finale. Camp in the most optimal spot possible, watch out for smokers and speeders, lure and juke the tank, and repeat the cycle. Do the cycle twice and we arrive at the rescue section. This is where our bile jar that has been sitting in my inventory the entire time will finally have its use. Since the rescue section is where things get batshit insane and the director will pretty much throw everything at you, a bile jar during this section is almost always required. I threw the bile jar far away and we went into the helicopter. Okay, so 4 attempts in No Mercy. Damn. And that's just the first map. There's still 13 more maps to go. Ooh, this is gonna take a long time. Crash Course is where I started to develop some small strategies and tips. One example is the character selection. Yes, this actually matters. Let me explain. Crash Course took me 3 attempts. The first attempt wasn't exactly a fail, as a wipe doesn't necessarily mean that I failed the challenge. However, I decided to restart to choose a specific character, Zoe. Why? It's because out of the 4 Left 4 Dead 1 Vanillabot survivors, Zoe has the worst performance. Unless if she has low ammo, Zoe will always prioritize sniper rifles, which on paper seems okay because of the sniper rifle's ability to kill up to 5 commons on a straight line with a single shot, unless if you're playing expert realism, which in that case it would be 3 shots. However, not only the scout in AWLP exists, which she would happily replace an AK-47 or a Spaz with laser sights. When a common gets close to a sniper bot, the bot would immediately switch to pistols. And might I remind you that 95% of Left 4 Dead 2's gameplay is close quarters to mid-range combat. Once Zoe picks up the sniper, most of the time she will just end up using her pistol instead when there's a horde. I came across a little problem just before the Howitzer panic event. To trigger this event, you need to fire this howitzer to destroy the barricade and summon a horde. Since the bots cannot interact with these types of things, unless if you have bot ahans, it has to be me. Which begs the question, what if there are some infected behind the barricade? Any infected killed by the explosion and the fire afterwards will count as my kill, so I had to make sure that the area is completely clear before starting the event, unfortunately forcing me to use my bile jar. After firing the howitzer, I ran to this spot as fast as I can, just like the 7-year-old me running to my room after turning off the lights. I'm honestly surprised that people aren't camping on this spot for this event. It makes the entire event a complete joke. It has only 2 entries for the infected, and they spawn far away from our location, giving us lots of time to gun them down before they can even get to us. After the event and a minute of walking later, we arrived at the safe room. Chapter 2 gives us a large-ass distance to travel as a side quest before we can get to the actual finale. Thankfully, there are no events during this, but we still have the random boss infected spawns. This is also where the bots decided to happily show us their incompetence. I mean, just look at this clip right here. Not even a minute later, the director did the funny again with the witch spawn position, which ended up in capping Lewis. Thankfully, we just had enough supplies to be able to arrive at the truck depot with everyone in green health. Crash Course's finale is harder than No Mercy's finale. At first, it plays normal. It sends out a horde with some special infected, and then we have the tank fight. The one major difference between those finales is that in the middle of the second horde, the generator will shut down and we must restart it where there's literally a horde on top of us. It's the perfect time to use a Baljar here, even outside doing this challenge and especially on higher difficulties. Things got rough for us here because we're basically forced to fend up a horde with several specials while being in an open space, giving the bots no time to heal by the time with the second tank spawn. So I hurried fast to the minigun. Now, I didn't use the minigun to shoot the tank, but rather abuse its AI. Because for some reason, an AI tank will always target the player in a mounted gun. No matter how far you are and how close the other players are to the tank, once you equip the mounted gun, the tank will start going for you. I heard Francis getting his ass beat by the tank, but I managed to barely save in on time as I equipped the minigun. After a few baited rock throws, the bots managed to kill the tank, and we went straight to the truck. I've always wondered where the hell were they even going after they started the truck. Both the left and the right side were blocked. What, are they like gonna do a hill climb racing and just flip the truck over the barricade or something? I don't know. Let's go. Alright, that's the second map done. Death Toll is where I started to get concerned for my mental health for this challenge. Death Toll, Dead Air, and Blood Harvest are basically the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon of camping maps and the Left 4 Dead 1 days. While you might think that they have become easier due to Balgers and melee weapons, you have to remember that Left 4 Dead 2 also added the Charger, Spitter, and Jockey, with the first two being a super deadly combo and the latter having bullshit mechanics and AI capabilities to catch you. From the start of Chapter 1, I was already worrying about Chapter 4's Gauntlet Crescendo event, but we'll get to that later. For now, we can just chill on Chapter 1, having a simple and linear path to the safe room. Except that's not what happened. This part right here doesn't completely represent the statement I'm about to express, but it should at least give you an idea as to why this challenge can test your patience in a very annoying way. Halfway through the chapter, in the most narrow areas of this chapter out of all f***ing places, we came across a boomer. To which I cannot just force my way through because his fat ass is blocking the way. Not even 5 seconds later, the director was like, "Hey, this is the perfect time to spawn a random horde, perfectly trapping them in this area with a relentless boomer because I'm definitely f***ing aware that the player is applying a self-imposed rule that prevents him from killing any infected." Classic f***ing retarded dipshit director behavior. To make matters worse, Lewis then decided that he wanted to be stupid. I shoved the boomer away so that he can shoot it, because I know that bots are programmed to not shoot the boomer when a survivor is close to it, but then he just fucking stands there and let the boomer puke on him. You might think that the boomer was still too close to him, but trust me, he wasn't, and I'm gonna prove it here. So, as you can see here, I am like... So as you can see here, I'm replicating the situation. This is the exact same place. I'm gonna spawn a boomer right here, so... Spawn it, I shove it, hug the left wall, bang. I am not puked on.
Clear.
So see? The boomer wasn't even that close to him. So Lewis, what do you have to say for yourself? You fucking useless bald piece of shit. Anyways, after that mess, it was just a straight line to the safe room. On Chapter 2, I had a little discovery that really surprised me while I was being swarmed. I almost have 1,000 hours of playtime in this game and I didn't even know that there's actually a unique soundtrack when you're being swarmed by commons. A tank spawned shortly after, and thankfully I was able to lure it without the team taking too much damage. Francis got beat up a bit, but he's fine. Everyone knows that if you're being beat up by a
10-foot-tall monster!
that can send you flying across the street, taking some pain pills will relieve the pain instantly. Now that I think about it, I wanna have that shit for my back problems, bro. After gearing up with tier 2 weapons, unfortunately with the military sniper rifle, except Francis. Francis good, Francis like shotgun, pew pew pew, Francis very good bot. I don't know what the hell was that. We came across another event which is easily countered by a Baljar. So the director decided to be devious and did the funny with the f***ing witch spawn position again. What the f- Oh, okay, alright, I guess I'm just gonna move on. With the tank and witch defeated, and the holdout event finished, it's just an easy path to the safe room. Before the holdout event on the church, we came across another tank, but the bots just melted him because we had so much space to go around and they were using tier 2 weapons. Similar to Crash Course's Chapter 1 holdout event, I have a simple strategy that makes the church holdout event piss easy. Literally just go outside the cemetery and camp near this ambulance. I've seen so many people camping inside the church for this event, which is a solid place to hold out, but trust me when I say that camping outside the cemetery instead makes the event a complete joke. Still not convinced yet? Here, I played this specific chapter on expert difficulty with vanilla bots using the strat. Although it did take some damage, no one got in-cap for the entire event and I didn't even use any grenades or the gas cans scattered in the church. I don't know if this can be a very effective holding point for versus, but it would be interesting to see that in action. Now for Chapter 4. You already know what's about to go down. And to make things worse, I didn't have a Bergeaud. The director is not helping either, initiating a tank fight the moment I step out of the safe room. Thankfully, there's this wide space in the corner that we used to hold a bit. After that, I spent the next 2 minutes roaming around the area, desperately trying to find just one Bergeaud. Bergeaud? Bergeaud, please. Please. Please, I need a Bergeaud. Any Bergeauds? Bergeauds. Bergeauds, please. Oh my god, give me that! Oh, there we go. The Forklift Gauntlet Crescendo event. I had several fails in Death Toll, and this is the main reason why. This Gauntlet Crescendo event is so f***ing brutal, not only for this challenge, but for other modes as well, especially on Versus. Let me explain what's about to happen here. So first, what is a Gauntlet Crescendo event? It's basically the same as a normal Crescendo event, except instead of going to a specific part of a map, it will only stop once you reach the safe room. The main reason as to why this event is so hard is because you basically have no space to move around. Beating this event without kills will require some strict timing and a lot of luck. First and foremost, a Bergeaud is absolutely required. If I reach this event without a Bergeaud, the run is pretty much over. Slowly making our way to the safe room while letting the bots do the killings is basically the only thing we can do here. However, we obviously cannot do this forever, since they don't have infinite ammo. If we take too long, the bots' firepower will significantly decrease with just pistols, which would eventually result in us getting overwhelmed. So even just a tiny bit of moment of not being blocked by comments is absolutely huge. To make matters worse, I also need to be extremely careful when using my Bergeaud. If you throw a Bergeaud to the infected, they will start attacking whoever was affected, eventually killing them. The game surprisingly doesn't count this as a kill, but it definitely counts in my eyes. Throwing something at an individual that causes it to be attacked and killed means that you killed it indirectly, and last time I checked, an indirect kill is still a kill. The event sometimes calms down after a very short period of time, so when this happens and I'm at least near halfway to the safe house, it's the perfect time to use the Bergeaud, making sure that it doesn't hit any infected. Despite all of that, it still doesn't end there. We also have to worry about special infected, especially the Charger and Spitter. The Charger can significantly set us back, and the Spitter is super deadly due to the lack of space. If we get unlucky with the special infected spawns, getting wiped or failing the challenge can easily happen even if I play my cards right. And guess what? It still doesn't end there. Since there's so many comments in this event, I basically forced myself to not shove at all, due to that really rare bullshit chance of comments dying in one shove. Yeah, it's rare, but with this much comments, it's going to happen. I failed 4 attempts because of this, and I decided I had enough with the shoving. With all of that in mind, after 8 fails in this goddamn event, this is how I beat the Forklift Gauntlet Crescendo event without any kills. kills. Okay. Just the finale left. The finale should be easy. Oh my gosh. The finale is thankfully very easy. It has one of the most consistent and effective holding spots you can get in a finale. There were some really stupid moments that happen here, but overall, this finale is a cakewalk compared to the previous two maps. Really appreciated the compensation after all the shit I went through in Chapter 4. Please, 0 kills. Come on, I don't want to restart this again. Please. Yes! Oh my god! Oh, yes! Let's f***ing go! Oh, I'm freaking done with this map. Cranking down the difficulty by surprisingly a lot, we arrived at the fourth map, Dead Air. However, this doesn't mean that we're off the hook. This map is still hard for the same reason as Dead Toll. It has a difficult gauntlet crescendo event in its fourth chapter. Chapter 1 was overall easy, but its completion had a painful process because this chapter really wants to be a Super Mario simulator due to the sheer number of drops it has. I guess it's not that much of a stretch for all the chapters in this game. I mean, there have been cases of survivors being launched up to the sky after stepping on a common's head. This chapter is very short, has no events, and the only thing that I needed to worry about is avoiding their noggins as much as I can. Chapter 2 starts with a lot of background comments, but rewards us with tier 2 weapons shortly after. About a minute later, we arrive at the Crane Holdout event. In a true dipshit retarded behavior of passion, the director did the funny with the witch again. I had to aggro it because it was 100% on the way, but it ended up killing me because these bots are too much of a pussy to face a woman. I didn't want to use my ball jar for this event as I am saving it for chapter 4, but thankfully I found a really good spot to hold for this event, which is this bedroom right here. The way how I completed this event without using my ball jar was kinda hilarious because the infected just couldn't break this door at the right side for some reason. As you can see, there's a spitter there scratching the door, but the door's just like, nah, I'd win. A little bit later, we encountered a tank, and it was put down relatively quickly at the cost of Francis getting incapped, which could have been avoided if this old geezer decided to use a more powerful weapon than a f***ing scout. Seriously, considering how Left 4 Dead 2's combat works, who the f*** thought it was a good idea to add bolt-action snipers in this game? Jesus Christ. But the annoyance doesn't stop there. After we traversed through the office, I heard a witch. And I think you already know what's up here. Oh, you f***ing son of a bitch. You're such a f***ing nerd, I swear to God.
The witch is getting mad. Shit! Hey, help!
Louis, shoot the f***ing witch! It's just f***ing standing there, I swear to God. Guess what? It still doesn't end there. After all the shit we already went through, this f***ing director spawned a random horde as a parting gift when we were like 20 meters away from the safe house. Literal lose-lose situation. Avoiding the alarm car apparently pisses off the director and just decides to spawn a horde anyway. We managed to get through and arrived at the safe room because we're built different, but I gotta rant a bit about this. Okay, what is with this director being like this for no reason? Yes, I'm aware that the director being aggressive does happen sometimes, especially on Advanced and Expert, but this felt like it was personal, like it had some serious beef against me. So far, every single map that we did had unfair witch spawn positions and random hordes and tanks on the most inconvenient spots. Yeah, random hordes my ass, just straight up a misleading adjective. For a thing being described as random, it sure likes to spawn specifically when we're in a dicey situation. Honestly, what is wrong with this director? Did I like steal his girl or something? I would like to let you know that I'm not interested in getting a girlfriend until I'm financially stable. Did I have a moment where I 360 no-scoped someone in Versus and that player was so humiliated that he decided to curse me with bad director luck for the rest of my Left 4 Dead 2 days? What is it, man? Give me a f***ing explanation here. Yeah, I look at cat pictures to calm myself down. This is pretty much my coping mechanism. Um, yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, let's go back. Oh you're not supposed to see this! Chapter 3 is surprisingly easier. Its event is very near the start of it, and the rest of the chapter is very linear. But before that, the moment I got down this fence, a tank spawned. Are you f***ing kidding me? Don't freaking do this, man. Come on. English or Spanish? English or Spanish? Yeah, I look at cat pictures again because I don't want to have a, I don't want to have a breakdown once again. Okay. Alright, I think that's enough. Let me just close down this browser so that any things I might be hiding won't be revealed. I mean, what am I talking about? I have nothing to hide. Oh shit! Oh, okay. It's gone now. It's gone. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what happened. I think my dog stepped on my keyboard. Now for the event. I was kinda scared of this event at first because it posed the same problem of Crash Course's Howitzer holdout event. However, common spawning beyond the barricade in this case is extremely rare, so I decided to risk it. The event itself is actually very easy. I just used this rescue closet to hold out. It's pretty much the same concept to No Mercy's Chapter 2 holdout event. Really effective on handling the Horde, but makes the Charger and Spitter a lot more dangerous. While a Spitter did spawn, which made me very nervous and my heart rate might have skyrocketed a bit, she actually never attacked us for some reason, so we're all good. Since both the event and the tank were already done, the rest of the chapter is just a straight dash to the safe house, not to mention the abundance of open spaces in this chapter, making it very easy to traverse. Of course, I was still very careful because of random hordes and vanilla bot shenanigans. I can still lose the run if I'm not paying attention. Chapter 4 has two events, a panic event and a gauntlet crescendo event. Thankfully, the panic event was manageable. After pulling the gear stick, I ran straight to the room in the corner and camped there for about a minute. This is the safest way we can get past this event, and knowing the consequences of a loss at this moment, I am absolutely not going to risk plowing through the Horde, and I will patiently wait for the event to finish. Not even a minute later, and we arrived at the Metal Detector Gauntlet Crescendo event. This event is actually easier than the Forklift event in Death Toll, however this doesn't mean that it's a freebie. There is a reason why I saved my bile jar and adrenaline shot here. If you are going for this event without a bile jar, you're not completely screwed, but it will definitely be a pain in the ass because you absolutely want to finish this event as soon as possible, as the huge hordes of commons and specials will whittle down the bot's ammo crazy fast. Despite this event being a lot shorter than the Forklift event, this is still one of the most nerve-wracking events in this challenge. With that in mind, this is how I beat the Metal Detector Gauntlet Crescendo event without any kills. Oh my god, I actually made it. Holy shit. Oh my god, Francis is trapped. Oh my... I'm not getting out there. I'm... Frick. I'm sorry, Francis. I didn't shove anything. I didn't step on anything. I'm not gonna risk getting out there and losing the challenge. The other bots can revive you.
How bad are you?
0 kills. Let's go. Oh my god. Yes! The finale in compensation is a bit harder than Death Toll's finale. The entire arena is a wide open space and the infected can spawn in all directions. I chose this area right here to hold out because it cuts off the infected's path towards us by half. However, the main downside of this is that we're far away from the supplies and I need to act fast when a transition between the Horde and a tank fight occurs. Not to mention, this is the first finale where tanks can easily utilize punchable objects. They were around between Crash Course and Death Toll's finale, but they were too impractical.
Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Thankfully, that didn't happen a second time, and we managed to hold out greatly and collect supplies between intervals. Horde campaign map complete. Well, that was definitely easier than Death Toll. Horde map complete, the next map's gonna suck so much! There we go. We're at the final map of the original 5 Left 4 Dead 1 campaign. And right off the bat, things quickly went absolutely bonkers in the first chapter. I'm gonna summarize chapter 1 in a single word. Foliage. This specific chapter is notorious by being super annoying in realism expert. You can be as careful as you want, but it will almost not matter because the infected love spawning inside the foliage. You will keep getting hit left and right and you cannot see shit. Good luck if a random horde spawns, or if a boomer pukes on you. In fact, I don't even need to explain what happened in this chapter. You just have to watch this clip. Can I just say one thing? What in the actual Chapter 2 is a bit difficult. Well, at least on its first half. Yeah, it's more pissing tight spaces combined with a random horde. Yay! After that, the director did the funny witch spawn position again, which at this point I shouldn't even be surprised. But thankfully this one was avoidable and I just went to the side and used this crate to go down. Wow, we actually managed to get past a witch without having any problem. Never mind, I guess the bots will just choose to break their legs instead of just going to the same route that I did. Dumbasses. Now for the emergency exit panic event. For the first time, I actually encountered an event where we basically had no safe spots, so I had to resort to actually forcing my way through the horde. However, I opted to stay inside the factory instead of forcing all the way outside because a tank might spawn there, and if there's something that you don't want to encounter in this game, it's a tank and a horde at the same time. Things got a little rough, but we managed to get through. While a tank did spawn outside, it was far from where I predicted, which is not really bad. At least it spawned right after the boss got tier 2 weapons, so we're fine. I am blazing blocks and shit, cause I'm in
It's over here.
Minecraft.
Yes,
I
safe
am
house. Right ahead,
blazing
boys. We made
blocks
it.
and shit, cause I'm in Minecraft. What does chapters 3 and 4 have to offer? That's right, more tight spaces, more foliage and shit, more getting hit left and right. But that's just their side dish. No, the main course is the event at the end of it. And guess what? It's another Gauntlet Crescendo event. Oh wait, which chapter has that again? Hang on, let me just check. Wait, what? Yeah, it's both. This map has 2 Gauntlet Crescendo events. As if one isn't f***ing enough. The moment I realized this, I started strategizing. Which Gauntlet Crescendo event is harder? Based on my experience, I find Chapter 3's event being harder for a variety of reasons. It overall spawns way more infected, and that doesn't need an explanation as to why it contributes to the difficulty. The entire area is less straightforward. You'll have to turn corners on your way to the safe house. Not by much, but it still matters. And finally, the main reason is that the Horde spawns way before the train even crashes the bridge. By the time you're able to cross the bridge, you are likely gonna get swarmed on the way, if not already being swarmed. In comparison, Chapter 4's event is much shorter, a bit tamer, and has a straightforward path. Like, literally straightforward. And finally, there's no blockage and you don't need to wait for a path to open unlike Chapter 3. You're free to run to the safe room as soon as the event starts. The only scenario where one would think that the Chapter 4 event is harder is right after experiencing it for the first time. Because one thing that really gets me pissed off with this event is that it just suddenly happens out of nowhere without any f***ing context. No loud noises, no levers pulled, no buttons pressed, no detector alarms, no nothing. It just happens out of f***ing nowhere, which would instantly catch you off guard on your first playthrough. But when you already know both events and you already know what's coming, Chapter 4 becomes easier but definitely still difficult. With that in mind, using my bell jar on Chapter 3 instead of Chapter 4 will be more practical. Even if I get lucky and get another one in Chapter 4, I still won't use it unless things get really out of hand. This is because having one is very important in the finale too, and I will explain it later. And look at that, we finished Chapter 3 in one attempt. Look at that, we are so good on this game. Oh never mind. Yeah, this campaign might have took some attempts because of Chapter 3. I don't want to tell you the numbers, but just know that it's a lot. Who are you pouncing at, boy? If you think those two godlike crescendo events were already too much, guess what? The final chapter itself has an event before the actual finale, the Cornfield Panic event. They really should have put this in Chapter 4 because that chapter originally didn't have an event anyway instead of that bullshit no context gauntlet event. Although this event can also catch you off guard on your first playthrough because it also happens out of nowhere. At the very least, this one has context for the Horde, with the crows making a lot of noises.
Shut up, you stupid crows!
This seems a bit too much, especially on expert campaign and more so on expert realism. Hell, this is literally the only instance from the entire game where the finale has an event before the actual finale. The way how you're supposed to deal with this doesn't help either. You're in the middle of a cornfield with very limited vision, while commons and specials are spawning in all directions. Your best bet here is to make a run for it and get out of the field as fast as possible. Trying to defend yourself inside the cornfield is just a death sentence, especially with our restrictions, as they know exactly where you are and you have no idea where they're coming from. Thankfully, the finale is a pushover. It's about the same difficulty as Dead Air's finale, but just a little bit easier. I pretty much applied the same strategy as I did on Dead Air's finale. Instead of camping inside the house, I camped on the cliffside with the barricade. It achieves the same purpose as the strat in Dead Air, where instead of having to deal with the infected in all directions, it cuts it off by half, preventing us from having to deal with them from behind. As for the tank fights, I just need to lure them away from both us and the punchable tree trunk at the side of the house. After what happened back on Dead Air, I am going to make sure that never happens again. Now, I mentioned earlier that I didn't use my Baljar on Chapter 4 because having it on the finale is important. This is because the rescue section acts the same way as the rescue section in No Mercy. you would have to wait for the APC to go around the house and open itself, forcing you to fend off the first wave of the endless horde while doing so. Technically, this is also the same case in Death Toll and Dead Air, where you have to wait a bit first. However, Death Toll has the aforementioned great spot, while Dead Air's area is so wide that the infected would take too long to reach you. You can just forget about the crash course. The trunk instantly opens and you can just get inside instantly. Blood Harvest and No Mercy on the other hand have no f***ing chill. Half of the time, someone's gonna get left behind if you don't have a bile jar because of the commons and specials. Especially when the tank decides to spawn so close to the rescue vehicle. No Mercy is a lot tamer because you're most likely gonna get a bile jar even after using it on the Scissor Lift Crescendo event, mainly because of Sida infected. They spawn a lot in this map, making bile jars quite abundant. Blood Harvest not only has no Sida infected, but bile jars are quite rare to come by in this map. I actually got wiped a few times in this finale because the horde in the tank were too much to handle. Yeah, the difference a real player can make in these scenarios are bigger than you think. Without them, the bots are just walking eggs in this goddamn apocalypse. Unsurprisingly, after I got an attempt where I managed to save a bile jar for the finale, I finished the map. Oh, you thought, didn't you? If only I knew how to code, I would mark that goddamn barn at the right side in a legal position for tanks to spawn. It's so bullshit! Well, and that's Blood Harvest done. Goddamn, that was so annoying. The sacrifice, despite having only 3 chapters, is very hard. On chapter 1, you're required to fight a tank with a horde. Chapter 2 has a hard crescendo event that happens without warning, similar to the cornfield event in Blood Harvest. And the finale has a total of a whopping 7 phases, 3 hordes, 3 tanks, and the sacrifice phase, which spawns 4 more scripted tanks. Usually the first chapter of a map is all chill. Just get some supplies, traverse through the chapter with some specials and random hordes, no events, tanks, or witches. Just a chill chapter overall. But the Sacrifice's first chapter is like, nah, I wanna be Ryllus as f. I wanna be a long chapter. Let's have an event where the players are forced to deal with one of the worst things in the game. A tank and a big horde at the same time. Oh, and this also happens in a confined space where the survivors cannot go back for safety. You want a tier 2 weapon? Here, have a f***ing hunting rifle, which the bots will most likely never gonna use because there's always a common within their vicinity. You wanna sidestep the tank and try to go ahead without killing it? Well, eat my friend. The other train door is completely locked using magic. I call it the stop being a f***ing pussy rusher and fight the tank magic. Okay, so how do we deal with this? We cannot just try to lure the tank because the horde of commons will just swarm us, making us an even easier target for the tank. The only thing I can do here is to use a bile jar to distract the commons so that the bots can fully focus on the tank. After thinking about it, I finally settled on a strategy to get by this chapter without having too many problems. The most important step being at the very beginning, soft resetting. If you didn't know, this chapter starts with a cutscene of a train that the survivors are in, arriving at its final destination, while shooting nearby infected. One thing to note here is that this is actually not a pre-rendered cutscene, and everything that's happening here is in the actual game. Combine this with the fact that Sida infected are spawning in this quote-unquote cutscene, I would keep resetting this until the cutscene spawns at least 1 Sida infected holding a bile jar. Once that happens, we can already get our hands in one before even leaving the initial safe spot. Next is to try to completely avoid sniper rifles. The problem with Zoe prioritizing them is already fixed by playing as her, but the other bots can still pick them up. Luckily, there's more than one spot to find tier 2 weapons here, and getting the other bots to discard any sniper rifles that they may have should be easy. Finally, on the tank fight area, try to find one more Sida infected with a bile jar. This is not absolutely required, and as long as we already have one and the bots are not holding sniper rifles, we should be able to get past this tank fight with or without it. But with it would make it a lot easier. See, the infected are incredibly common in this map, so Baljars are generally easy to get here.
Doors opening. Get ready.
Reloading.
Get ready. Charger!
After all that it's just a straight path to the safe room. It has a bit of distance and random hordes can still damage and slow us down, but it's not a big deal. I also made sure that I would scavenge for supplies while traveling. Chapter 2 is a long ass chapter, but to be honest, the only problem here is the crescendo event right at the end, because like I said, Baljars are easy to get in this map. On my winning attempt, I got 2 freaking Baljars in this chapter. Nothing really special happened in this chapter aside from the usual bullshit shenanigans in this challenge, like the director trying so hard to be funny again with the witch, Lewis being a complete f***ing dumbass, and the old geezer really asking for a dropkick in the face because he keeps prioritizing the f***ing scout. At this point, the bullshit after bullshit after bullshit things the director and the bot's AI kept throwing at us were really starting to get to me, and honestly speaking, I probably started to lose a bit of my sanity here. But even after all that, the director still wasn't satisfied, and its thirst for sadistic matters wasn't quenched yet, because it probably did one of the most unfair and diabolical bullshit in this entire challenge. Before I show you the clip, let me explain one thing about the tank first. The tank has 3 phases: idle, aggro, and ranged. Phase 3 only exists in Left 4 Dead 1, and it happens when you set the tank on fire, giving it a boost in movement speed and making the Molotov a very polarizing weapon choice against it. It makes sense that they remove this in Left 4 Dead 2 because that is just unfair, especially on expert difficulty. Phase 2 happens when a tank spots a player. It is the most recognizable phase in the game and is always accompanied by the tank music, unless if you're using add-ons that change that. But the phase that I want to talk about the most is phase 1, idle. The way how the tank spawns is a little bit different from the other special infected. He doesn't just spawn in a relatively close spot in any directions that the players cannot see and instantly go straight to attacking like what the other special infected does, or just like how the game handles tanks in Versus. He will always spawn slightly far ahead from the survivors but close to the main path, and just chill there until he spots them or get damaged by some strays. Similar to all infected, he also makes a bit of noise while growling softly. This means that if you're not the type of player that keeps f***ing rushing through the map, then get grabbed by a special infected 5 seconds later, and actually decide to stop, look, and listen, you can actually hear the tank before sending him to phase 2. Which is very good because it lets the survivors have the element of surprise. This situation will always happen if your team chooses to traverse through a chapter slowly and carefully, which is exactly what I always end up doing because of the nature of the challenge. However, if there's one thing that you should know about this game, is that your enemies are always capable of breaking their own rules.
Climb up this pile.
Where? Excuse me? Motherfucker, where'd you even come from? I didn't hear your ass.
And I'm the first person to stand up and say, this is fucked, this is not right, this is not cool. This is fucking bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
So yeah, at this point, the director is just straight up cheating now just to with us. One moment, there was completely nothing on that area. Then not even 5 seconds later, after I just triggered the crescendo event, there's suddenly a tank there? You could argue that maybe he was a bit more hidden just enough for him to not to be seen by my POV. But in that case, why in the actual did I not hear his growls when I was this close to the ship? He should have been 100% audible here at this exact moment. So are you telling me that this director spawned this tank mere seconds after I triggered the crescendo event? Really? Trust me when I say that having this Valjar was the one and only one reason why we survived this. This crescendo event is already difficult as even outside doing this challenge. Having a tank spawning at the very first seconds of this event in the mix, and you have a recipe for disaster. We barely avoided him because I think he had a bit of a problem with his spamming, which was really lucky for us. The bots had to deal with some comments and specials, so I made sure that the team was still sticking together. Like I said before, I almost have 1,000 hours in this game, and what I just encountered has to be one of like top 5 most diabolical tank spawns I've ever witnessed. Honestly, this director, I swear to God.
You guys have officially made me lose my marbles!
The finale is pretty hard. Probably the hardest finale so far. As I said before, this finale has 7 phases. You will fight 3 large hordes and 3 tanks in this goddamn finale. Also, not so fun fact, this is the only map that doesn't have a rescue vehicle, which makes sense considering how this map ends. Our main objective here is to raise this bridge by activating 3 generators that are scattered across the arena. Activating one will spawn a tank and a large horde each. Once a generator is activated, 3 things can happen. Either the horde or tank spawns first, or the director with us again by having both spawn simultaneously. Usually players resort to activating all 3 generators at the same time to finish this finale faster. However, this is obviously risky as multiple tanks and hordes can spawn at the same time. Activating all 3 generators is usually not recommended unless if you want the Chaos Generator achievement. On my winning attempt, in order to balance the speed of completion and the density of the hordes, my plan was to activate 2 generators in a row, specifically the ones that are the furthest away from the supplies, then hold out in the supplies area and fight the incoming 2 hordes and tanks. Once the tank starts getting too close, I would start running inside the factory starting in this specific narrow area while making sure that we are still sticking together. This way, the horde and the tank will be forced to go to a one-way path towards us while eating bullets at the same time. If some commons or a special decides to block our way, hopefully the bots will be able to get rid of them, which is why I'm also making sure that I don't move too far from them. If we do this correctly, the bots should be able to kill the tank before we are forced to get out of the factory and have to face the horde at the wide open. This worked perfectly on practice. However, in my winning attempt, things went a little south because for some reason, the tank suddenly did a 180 and went on the other side of the factory despite us being super close to him. Thankfully, the bots damaged the tank just enough before we had to retreat in the first place and managed to kill it before it started doing serious damage. I tried to go straight back to our initial position when the second tank spawned, however I was a little bit too late and the tank ended up being way too close, severely injuring Francis before it died. From there, we fought the second horde, activated the final generator, and luckily for us, the third tank and horde did not spawn at the same time, so we just huddled here instead. We got blessed by the RNG gods once again and got 2 bile jars from Sita infected. I immediately took advantage of it and finished the absolute canonically final mission in the Left 4 Dead 1 story.
I got this. Not a big deal.
Honestly, Zoe, that's gonna be your punishment for being an asshole to build this entire fucking chapter. I'm done with this shit. I need to sleep. Good night. This finale did not around. and I lost multiple times because of it, with one of my attempts losing while being 1 second away from victory. Here's the clip. I hope you enjoy my crash out. No! Oh my god! Oh, I gotta go. Oh my god, please don't die, please don't die. Please don't die, please. Please don't fucking die, please don't fucking die, please don't fucking die. He died! Oh my god! Oh my god, he fucking died! That's a fail! That's a fail! Oh my god! That's a fail! To fully compensate for all the shit we went through on the sacrifice, we have a very surprisingly easy map, The Last Stand. To say that I overestimated this map would be an understatement. That's it, I completed it in one attempt. I was so scared of this map, what the hell? Similar to Crash Course, this map only has 2 chapters, which I'm not really a fan of, to be honest. The amount of padding this campaign does is way too much, and it's annoying. Still, that didn't stop the director from being an asshole once again and decided to spawn a tank very early. It severely injured Bill and costed us a medkit, but we're all good. Around 3 minutes later, and we have arrived at the Junkyard Crescendo event. I kinda love and hate this event at the same time. I love it because it's a unique event that is not really seen on other official maps. I hate it because it drags on for so long. Anyway, to do this event, you must activate the world's loudest fuel pump, which unsurprisingly summons a Horde. Wow! Now even 20 seconds later, the crane powers down and we must start the 4 generators across the area. Okay, listen, I know that Left 4 Dead 2 is set 2 weeks after the first green flu infection, but these survivors are some lucky motherfuckers to find not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 generators that are well and working and filled up with enough gas to be able to power up a gigantic crane. Whoever managed these generators and hoarded the out of gasoline for them was a godsend to these survivors. Unfortunately, I didn't have a bile jar for this event, so I took a huge risk and decided to bomb rush through the infected and activated all 4 generators as fast as I can. Surprise, surprise, the bots continue to be mindless and they don't know how to interact with the generators, so it's really up to me. After activating the last generator, you have to wait a full 50 seconds before the crane gets the container on the correct position. Did I mention how much padding this campaign does? After that, just pull the lever to drop the container to open the path forward, which will summon another horde, so we need to GTFO ASAP. We then arrive at the crash site of the burning plane earlier in the chapter.
Flashback.
This way.
Made him scream, made him cream, then he slobbered on my meat.
This place has a weird duality to it, whereas it either has a ton of wandering comments or it's completely empty. Unfortunately, I got the former, which slowed us down even further. After a few seconds, we finally arrived at the safe room. God damn, that was a long chapter. On the finale, we literally just go past the watchtower outposts and then that's it. We arrived at the actual finale. Oh, don't celebrate just yet, because this finale makes sure that it'll compensate for the short distance from the safe room. After activating the generator, we went up to the lighthouse to hold out, which is effective unsurprisingly because not only the infected spawn far away from us, they also need to do a lot of climbing in order to actually reach us. So both the first and second phase were all chill. The first tank was disposed very quickly also because of it. Here's the finale's twist though. Instead of just the next phase being another holdout, the generator shuts down and the game initiates a scavenge event. This is literally the only finale in the game that is more than one type, being a holdout and the scavenge finale at the same time. Did I mention how much padding this campaign does? Thankfully, since I was playing solo with bots and on normal difficulty, it only required 6 gas cans, so it wasn't a big deal. After filling up the generator, the game then spawns 2 tanks. The way how this specific fight goes kinda depends on RNG. The 2 tanks can either spawn with a long interval to each other, or they just straight up spawn at the same time. Unfortunately, I got the former, but that doesn't mean that it was not stressful, as I might have gotten a little bit close to being yeeted off the cliff. After the 2 tanks have been defeated, we ran straight to the rescue boat, and that's it. That's the last 10. Apparently, this is one of the few maps where the actual finale's behavior is directly affected by the difficulty setting. For example, on easy and normal difficulty, this finale has 5 phases, but on advanced and expert, it has 7 phases. When I play this game casually, most of the time I play on advanced, sometimes on expert. So when I end up playing this map, I'm always like, oh shit, they picked this map, gotta lock in a little. Trust me, the difference is fucking crazy. It's not just the infected getting a damage boost and being more aggressive, the finale itself actually gets harder, which ended up me overestimating the hell out of this map. Anyways, that's all for the Left 4 Dead 1 maps. We're now officially halfway through the challenge, and let me tell you, it only gets harder from here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially arrived to actual Left 4 Dead 2 territory, and right off the bat, the first chapter of Dead Center f***ing sucks. Well, not in general, just specifically for this challenge. We start off this map without primary weapons, but we're compensated with melee weapons, which are way better than pistols. So that's great, that means we have more firepower, right? Oh yeah, the boss can't use melee weapons because they're fucking stupid. They can use the deagle though, which is a guaranteed loot in this chapter, we just need to find it. Similar to the 4th chapter of No Mercy, you do not have much space to maneuver around, and it's just built for close combat. Specials will be significantly dangerous here, so you want to get to the elevator as fast as possible, which is not an easy task when the commons really like cosplaying as the Great Wall of China. Bro, come on. Just shoot the boomer at this point. One survivor being filed is better than the entire team being filed. Bro. Oh, now you shoot the boomer when I'm close to him, you f***ing piece of shit! Eventually, we made it to the elevator, and after getting to the ground floor and activating the panic event, I tried to rush through this room with a medkit and some guns, but little did he know, that was his biggest mistake.
Oh, what the f- Why are you guys still there? What the heck? Why? What is the thought process here? What in the actual f is preventing you guys to at least get out of that damn elevator? Oh my god, I cannot wait to play some Loot for Dead after this challenge. I'm gonna make you motherfuckers suffer.
Oh, this guy has no chill, man.
Chapter 2 has quite an annoying start, having so many wandering commons around the initial area. I decided to use my Bergeaud to give my team a huge head start since I realized that Sida infected are common in this map, and surely it won't take long before I get another one. We kept going as fast as we can, and the director apparently wasn't happy that we're having good progress. So take a wild f***ing guess on what it does again. A witch in a narrow space! Yeah, that's Oh, fuck off. Alright, someone else can take the witch. There's a rescue closet near the gun store anyway. As we're about to initiate the call event, I sadly realized that I made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment. We didn't get a Bergeaud. Ah, son of a bitch. Well, too late to worry about that shit. I decided to trust the bots that they will be able to do an at least decent job on covering me while I deliver the cola, and thankfully, they did not fail me this time.
This run has been very, very clean. Oh my god. Is that another witch? What the heck? That is 3 boss infected in this chapter alone. My guy, can you f*** off?
Chapter 3 isn't really that much interesting until the Moral Alarm Crescendo event, but it can be annoying to navigate because it has quite a lot of choke points. There's so many places in this chapter where the presence of the tank will be a big threat that can significantly weaken, if not eliminate the entire team. However, with my motherfucking fat-filled organ inside my head I call my brain being on ADHD mode, I wasn't paying attention to all this shit because I was too focused on something else.
Oh! Oh! How's your ankle, bitch?
There are two paths on the way to the start of the event, the ground floor and the second floor. Whichever path opens for us is completely based on RNG. So obviously we want the second floor since the stop button is located at the third floor. This path is just objectively faster than the other, and it's also guaranteed to give you ammo. I don't know why, either I'm just legally blind or not looking hard enough, but sometimes there's straight up no ammo pile on the ground floor path. I can't be the only one who experiences this shit. Thankfully, we got the second floor path. Things are going well for us right now.
Alright, lads, just clear this area. Be careful and... Oh, never mind. I guess the bots really want to start the crescendo event. Let's go.
The event was expectedly stressful and I got swarmed at one point because the word fast is simply not in this bot's vocabulary.
Close this shit. Grab the dish. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh my god. Kill him, please. Thank you. Ignore what just came out of my mouth.
Just before entering the safe house, a tank spawned because of course it did. I mean, what else is the director going to do other than screw us over?
You know what? You think I'm scared of you? Come here, little Come here. You think I'm scared of you just because I can't hurt you? Oh god. Come on now, fucking kill this guy, please. Thank you. Whew, okay. Whew, okay. This has been a very, very clean run. Oh my god.
Now, the scavenge event finale. I know that we already had a scavenge finale back on The Last Stand, but since this finale is a pure 100% scavenge, I feel like it's better to explain how it works here. A scavenge finale works very differently from holdout finales. It has infinite phases where the director will constantly spawn mini hordes with some specials and then attack after some time. This cycle will repeat itself endlessly until the rescue vehicle has been gassed up or the survivors have been defeated. Even though we're playing on normal difficulty and only need 8 gas cans for this finale, I'm still at a huge disadvantage here, simply because I'm playing solo. Surprise surprise, the bots cannot pick up gas cans or fill up the car. I mean, honestly, what do I expect at this point?
I want to die.
Combine this with the fact that I cannot kill a single infected, this run will be very slow, and we are guaranteed to fight tanks in this finale. Hey man, why can't you just use that one very old glitch where you would prevent the finale from spawning hordes by having down bots in the safe room while you go down the elevator? There are 4 rules. I am not allowing myself to use hard exploits or glitches for this entire challenge. We're gonna pretend that we're lactose intolerant and will try to avoid as much cheese as possible. No bunny hopping, no skipping parts of the map, actions that you cannot do without having to do some weird shit to break game mechanics are not allowed. And before you say it, no, manipulating the tank's AI using the minigun is something I do not consider being an exploit. Any players, be it beginners or expert, can do this shit without having to break something in the game, unlike bunny hopping. Valve did not intentionally design the survivors to be as fast as the f***ing speed of light and as bouncy as a female Zenless Zone 0 character's humongous hungalonghonanalogongus. But for real though, the reasons why I consider this new rule is that 1, it's pretty f***ing lame when you set yourself a challenge and then you just glitch your way through it. And 2, I'm allowing myself to have bots anyways. They may be dumb as shit more than half of the time, but they provide the best backup they can give, and this challenge wouldn't have been possible without them. So the best plan for this kind of finale is to straight up just rush as fast as possible, which is not gonna be easy since I'm the only one who can progress and eventually finish this finale. Adrenaline shots will be very important here, as not only it makes your actions faster, which includes pouring the gas in the car for some reason. What, you're manipulating gravity? You're making the gasoline fall faster when you have adrenaline? What is this shit? It also prevents comments from slowing us down when they hit us. Usually some players straight up resort to parkour to make things faster, but remember, we're at the finale of a map. and controlling our nerves will be difficult considering the consequences. I do not want to accidentally step on a common's head while I jump around the place. I just need to be as fast as possible while making sure that the team is always sticking together.
Let's go! That was the cleanest run I've ever done so far in this challenge. Please tell me I got 0 kills from this. I'll be so heartbroken if it's not. Well, what do you know? 0 kills! Woohoo! Let's go!
That was the second attempt, by the way. And just in case if you're wondering what happened to the first attempt, well, just watch this.
Wait, what? Why am I this fast? What the f? I honestly don't know what the hell is happening. It could be because I connected to a modded server earlier, but I'm not really sure. But man, I gotta restart my game first.
金钱看齐，墙上写着秦香莲的32岁了，装个当朝，驸马郎的齐君王啊，满皇上的会2岁了，装个当朝。
We now have arrived at the final map that has a scavenge finale, and the name of the map is Ass. I mean, the passing. But for real though, my experience every time I play this map is f***ing ass. Because I am not kidding when I say that this map is one of the more difficult ones despite having only 3 chapters. In fact, I would go as far as to say that this is actually harder than The Sacrifice, and I would stand on that opinion. Chapter 1 has the Bride Witch encounter, which is difficult to avoid in multiplayer and pretty much impossible to avoid in single player. Not to mention it has a relatively high chance of spawning a tank, and Lord have mercy on us, it can spawn so f***ing early to the point that you can encounter this piece of shit before you can even get to the tier 1 weapons inside the store. And also for good measure, there's lots of punchable cars around the area because why the f*** not, am I right? To make up for the passing's elevated difficulty, this specific map introduces footlockers. These contain an unlimited amount of either pain fills, adrenaline shots, pipe bombs, or molotovs. I heard that it can also contain bile jars, but don't quote me on that one, I'm not really sure about that. They could be anywhere in this map, so exploration is highly recommended, although due to our restrictions, I can only really use pain pills or adrenaline shots. Yeah, better than nothing I guess. The Witch Bride is basically impossible to avoid. While I myself can't avoid it, the bots certainly can't. Now, this usually means that I would just make one of the bots bite the bullet, but the problem is that wedding ceremonies doesn't just contain the bride and the groom. It also contains guests. A lot of guests. If the Bride Witch has been startled, not only you get a homing ballistic missile out to get the ass of whoever had the audacity to disturb her alone time, it also summons a panic event. Even on normal difficulty with our restrictions, triggering the Bride Witch can be a death sentence to the entire team. You get one survivor that is straight up useless, which is me because I can't do shit. Another survivor most likely being mauled by the witch, which leaves us with 2 remaining survivors versus an entire freaking horde with some specials. Thankfully, we can do something that can significantly make this problem a lot easier. You see, the Bride Witch has a special way of being triggered, and it's this speaker right here. Upon pressing it, the music will change into something loud. Let's just say the witch won't like the music.
Reloading!
I suck his dick.
While this would trigger the Bright Witch and summon the Horde, it's not instant compared to when you just shoot her. This means right after changing the music, we can run away from the area then camp on a safer spot. While this was my plan, something unexpected happened on my run.
Where is she? What? Is she stuck? She is! She's stuck down there! What the hell? Man, your pathfinding sucks!
After dealing with that, we got some extra supplies inside these 2 tents, not much to be honest, and we arrived at the safe room. Chapter 2 is a very difficult chapter. Not only it's long and pretty unforgiving, it also has one of the most annoying gauntlet crescendo events in the entire game. What I hate about this specific chapter so much is that in addition to its elevated difficulty, you actually need, yes, need some decent luck to get through this chapter. Let me break it down for you, my viewer. Oh, you just went outside the safe room. Here's 1 million wandering commons as a reward. And remember to kill them quickly because I have a random horde in line in about 30 seconds. Oh, nice! You entered the pool hall and got a bit of supplies. Here's another 1 million wandering commons at the side of the building. Oh, by the way, there's mud water there that will slow you down. No need to thank me. Oh, and also another random horde. Apologies for not reminding you. Gee, this place is quite confined. Would be a shame if I spawn a tank here. Oh, look at that! An open space. You know what that means? Random horde time because we f***ing hate the player. Oh, perfect. More confined spaces. Would be a shame if I spawn a tank. Looks like you're gonna have to go down there to progress further. Wait! Before you go down, here's another random horde. Did you bring some bile jars and adrenaline shots? No? Well, you're gonna have a lot of fun then because you're about to deal with a gauntlet crescendo event where the entire arena is filled with water. Oh, you just survived that entire challenge. I see you're very strong. The safe room is just ahead. You guys are understandably weakened after all that. Would be a shame if I spawn a tank.
Oh my fucking...
Fuck out of here!
3:28 a.m. Hey, there's a dry safe room up here.
Thanks. Coach, you should
That's
maybe
what I'm
heal.
talking about.
No comment. I hate my life.
The Passings finale is harder than Dead Center's finale and for one simple reason. Arena layout. There's a reason why Atrium is regarded as the best survival map in the game. On Dead Center's finale, you have a lot of elevation and the whole place is just built for parkour suckers. The Passings finale, on the other hand,
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
the area is way too wide, and while there is some elevation, it's way too impractical compared to Atrium's elevations. So you're at the mercy of the commons that will just constantly slow you down and throw a middle finger to your parkour skills. I've seen a lot of people underestimating this finale and immediately getting their asses handed to them. Just because you have the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors assisting you in this finale doesn't mean that it's a cakewalk. Throughout my sessions on playing this map, I always get nervous when it comes to the finale because guess what? Remember when I stated that scavenge finales get harder the longer you take to beat them? Well, the Passings finale takes that idea and dials that shit to 11. Because once enough time has passed, the special infected spawn cap will increase to 5 and the game will start spawning 2 tanks at once. This is also the reason why in rare cases you would see 2 of the same special infected when playing this finale. The gas cans in the scavenge finale are very far and scattered from each other, and as you can see, this finale requires more gas cans than Atrium. So what do we do here? Well, pretty much the same strategy as on Dead Center's finale, except do it faster. Really easier said than done when I'm not allowed to kill anything that stands on my way, and all it takes is one common slap to slow me down. I just need to focus, don't make any stupid mistakes, and hope that luck will be on our side when it comes to the free supplies from the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors.
missed them. It was nice to see normal people again.
Don't worry. I won't be harassed.
Heads up.
Can I get a bile jar, please? Oh, thank you so much. I'll smell your feet later. I mean, shit. No. Forget I said that.
Dark Carnival. Probably the most popular official map, although No Mercy might say otherwise, but the former is definitely harder. Better be prepared for some event shenanigans because this map makes sure that you're gonna learn what suffering is. Actually, while you're at it, I better prepare myself too. I noticed that I've been yapping for quite a while now. So I'm just gonna let the chapter 1 footage speak by itself.
Look at this shit.
That's probably it.
In there. Kid, get inside.
Get inside.
Whispering Oats. We made it.
I'm back! Oh shit, we're at chapter 2 already? Really speedrunning this shit? For real though, that might seem impressive to some people, but I wanna let you know one thing. That was not the first attempt. No, it's not the second either. Not the third. Not the fifth. It's the 10th attempt. Yeah, my brain got absolutely fried in this map. I thought the sacrifice and the passing was difficult, but I was not prepared for Dark Carnival.
Seriously? Bro, you wanna shoot the jockey or not? Oh my god!
One!
This is for Rachel, you big fat white nasty smelling fat bitch. Why you took me off the motherfucking schedule with your trifling dirty white racist ass?
This fucking director can suck my fat ass!
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
You fucking fragile piece of shit!
Yeah, please pardon my aggressive behavior. The usual frustrations at this point were further amplified by the fact that I was starting to get close to the finish line. I am really sorry, people. I was really getting impatient, and the bots doing their usual dumb shit was definitely not helping. Anyways, back to the map. We're only 2 chapters in, and this map is already cranking up the difficulty since not only chapter 2 is a very long chapter, which means a high chance of encountering a tank and a witch, it also has a pretty annoying crescendo event at the end. Even the devs knew that this chapter's overall difficulty is elevated to the point that there are a lot of supplies in this chapter. Well, that is if you like exploring. Hell, literally 20 seconds after getting out of the save room and shit's already going down. Thankfully, the game is programmed to make the director shut the f up after situations like this, so we managed to progress through a generous chunk of the chapter. A witch spawned afterwards, but it was taken care of by forcing her to play Ring Around the Rosie with me. I had a slightly scary moment here where the specials were camping the roof and I had to make a risky climb, since the bots wouldn't climb this ladder by themselves. Immediately, I got swarmed and pounced by a hunter, but the bots thankfully backed me up quick. The director, as usual, tried to be funny again by spawning a second witch on the way, so I decided to do a funny in return by forcing the bitch to play Ring Around the Rosie again. The Carousel Crescendo event is considered the easiest event of Dark Carnival, but it's something that you should not underestimate, as just a bit of bad luck can f things up for us real quick. All it takes is one bad special infected encounter. We unfortunately don't have a choice here. All we can do is to just rush as fast as possible, think and react fast to any incoming bullshit, and pray that luck will be on our side. You might be thinking, can't you just use a bell jar? Well, while it's understandable for you to use a bell jar here, the problem is that there's not a lot of that in Dark Carnival. Bile jars can only spawn in chapters 1 and 5, and it's not even guaranteed to get one in chapter 1. Experienced players usually save their bile jars for chapter 4, where you will face a notoriously difficult gauntlet crescendo event. You have better chances of getting past the carousel event without using your bile jar compared to the next events anyways, and my proof is my winning attempt for this map, where I didn't even have a bile jar. It got a bit scary, but we managed to get through and finish the event. Chapter 3 is even more difficult. Half of this chapter is basically a cave diver simulator, and the other half is another crescendo event that's even harder than the carousel event. We cannot rush fast here due to the lack of space, so I made sure that we were at least getting some supplies since there is a moderate chance for a tank to spawn during this. Thankfully, on my winning attempt, we didn't get a tank. We did get a witch though, and it was on the way because why the f not, but the area she spawned in was actually close to the vents, so we just used that path to get past her. A little bit later, and we finally arrive at the Coaster Crescendo event. This is another notoriously difficult event, as you have to bum rush through waves of commons and specials, all while the entire place has a million choke points and insta in-cap / death spots that the chargers and smokers are drooling for.
Please do not pull me with your tongue, that would be really bad.
Once again, we have no choice but to rush this. Trying to do this event normally is usually fine, but when I am not allowed to kill any infected, I ain't trusting the bots to cover me on an event that's this difficult. Adrenaline shots are a must for this event, and it's the only reason why my strategy works. Right after activating the coaster, immediately use the adrenaline shot after the gate opens so we can stay close to the moving coaster, which is going to be our best friend during this event. Why? What happens if you stop using your brain and get in front of a moving coaster? You get forcibly unsubscribed from life. Stupid! By getting close behind the coaster, it will clear the way for us so we can freely run through the place. This should let us get through at least 70% of the event stress-free, but we will then need to wish for good luck at the remaining 30%. By the time the coaster gets inside the tunnel, our adrenaline effect runs out at this point and we will be a bit far from it, allowing some infected to get in our way. At this point, all we can do is to go for broke and either turn off the alarm or go straight to the safe room.
Somebody turn off. It's off.
Let's get your ass up. Hey, get in here. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Chapter 4 can go f*** itself. I don't care what anyone says, this godforsaken chapter contains the most difficult non-finale event in the entire game. The chapter itself is not a pushover either, having a high chance to spawn a tank and a witch. And there are only 2 rescue closets which are close to the starting point of the chapter instead of being right before the event, which is absolutely f***ing retarded. Who thought this was a good idea? Like, my god, who f***ing designed this shit?
What the f***? Yo, god damn! God damn!
The chapter was so bad that I ended up finding a quote-unquote loophole to my own rules.
Looks like they were using the stadium.
Oh yeah, of course this spawned near the safe room where we need to go during the event. Of course. Okay, you know what? I am tired. I am done of your bullshit. I never said in my rules that I am not allowed to hurt the infected. I am not allowing myself to kill the infected. A single scout shot will not kill the witch. I don't care what anyone says, this director is just too much.
So why is the Stadium Gate the hardest event in the game? Well, for starters, it's another Gauntlet Crescendo event, so yippee I guess. This event actually starts as a holdout event first for around a minute, then the gate opens and you must run through this very narrow space while fighting an endless stream of commons and specials. Cave diver corridor type shit. In addition to this, for this specific event, the director becomes extremely aggressive in spawning specials, and some aspects are actually altered for this event. First is that the respawn timer for the specials are significantly decreased, and it's different compared to how spawn timers work in Versus. The moment a special infected dies, the director immediately queues up the next special infected. This is why they're spawning so goddamn fast. Although the special infected cap remains unchanged, similar to the passing finale, the game also allows 2 of the Dominator special infected to exist in the battlefield. Dominator special infected are the ones that can pin down survivors, so the Charger, Jockey, Smoker, and Hunter. The only silver lining that we can get here is that allegedly, jockeys and boomers are actually disabled. I say allegedly because I'm pretty sure I've seen a jockey and a boomer during this event. Think of this event as the Dead Souls Forklift Gauntlet Crescendo event, except the director will never shut the f*** up and has 300% more special infected. To make matters worse, we don't have a bile jar. Because it's not enough that chapters 2, 3, and 4 do not spawn bile jars. No. The bell jar in chapter 1 just has to be a not guaranteed spawn. Well, it's too late to complain about this, huh? If I cannot outsmart these f***ers, the only thing I can do is to relentlessly advance through the event fueled purely by hopes and dreams. See, in order to kill a survivor, they must be incapacitated 3 times, but we can increase that to 5 times if the survivor has a medkit. Upon being incapped twice after being revived, the game turns your vision to black and white, indicating that the next incap will mean death. When this happens, you can then use the medkit to heal and reset the incap counter. By doing this, we can stay alive during the event for as long as possible, hopefully long enough to get past this absolute freaking hellhole.
did it! Oh my god, this might actually be the attempt.
The finale is thankfully not too bad, but it's not easy either. This finale puts you in an open space which the comments really love. One really good thing about this chapter is that a Baljar is guaranteed to spawn here, and we just need to find it. There are 8 places where the Baljar can spawn. 4 of them can be found at the right side immediately after exiting the safe room. From here, they can either be on the left or right restroom, on both sinks, or at the floor in the right restroom. Opposite to the restrooms is the kitchen area, and you can find it on the counter. Next spot is the far left restroom down the hallway, and you can find it on the sink. Next is the far corner on the right side of the main hallway beside a closed food stall. And finally, at the end of the hallway, either behind the last food stall or the fence at the left side just before the entrance. I yoinked the Baljar and started preparing for the finale. Now, there are multiple spots that you can use to hold off for this finale, but my personal favorite is the top sound mixer spot. This is always my go-to spot when playing this map because you have a direct line of sight of the entire stadium, especially the leftmost and rightmost corners where a big chunk of the Horde and specials will spawn. You'll only have to watch out for your left and right side. The infected will take a while to get to you if they try to climb in front of the sound mixers, and you can use the sound mixers to avoid these spitters acid spit. Not to mention, the medkits can also spawn here, which is very convenient. Now that we have our spot, next thing to do is to memorize the locations of the medical supplies, guns, and ammo only for the bots to refill. We don't give a shit to the other throwables and firewood crates because we cannot use them anyway. The bell jar, of course, will be used at the rescue section, and I'll make sure that I will throw it at the opposite side of where the helicopter will land. So with our strategy ready, let's finally finish this absolute f***ing unit of a map.
How did it hit me? Come on, 0 kills, please. Nice! Let's f***ing go! Oh my god, that was so painful! I hated this. I hated this map so much.
I'm gonna be straight with you guys, I don't like this map. Foliage plus a bunch of pool of water. Ugh. This map is also considered one of the harder maps, but thankfully we have some tricks and strategies to make this map a lot easier. In which, thank God, because Dark Carnival was a f***ing pain in the ass to finish. A lot of people are overestimating the general difficulty of Chapter 1 purely because of the Fairy Panic event. Yes, I call it a panic event because the Horde is not infinite. Now, I had a strategy for this, but I wasn't really sure if it's efficient or worth it. Since there's pretty much a high chance of getting a bell jar before the event by just searching the houses around, my plan was to throw the bell jar after calling the ferry, then immediately run far away from the area. I thought of this because I noticed that the Horde will only spawn around the ferry, so by getting away from there, they will take a long time to reach us, allowing the bots to gun them down easily. This worked like a charm, as we took very little damage, but it is very time consuming as this event spawns a lot of hordes. From there, it's just a matter of being careful at the second half before finally arriving at the safe room. Chapter 2 is definitely harder, but once again, we have a strategy for it. After slowly making our way to the crash plane, we arrive at the airliner panic event. Yes, it is a panic event because the Horde is not infinite. We have two ways to deal with this. Either we go the aggressive route and throw a bell jar then immediately make a run for it, or we just hold up behind the airplane. Since my impatient ass wanted to get this challenge over with, I went to the aggressive route, and things went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Oh, you gotta be f***ing kidding me! Yeah, you thought, you pathetic little sh**.
Yeah, in case it's not obvious yet, prioritize adrenaline shots for this map, even outside doing this challenge. Your legs will thank you. See, this is the only thing I like about this map. Baljars are f***ing common, which definitely allowed me to finish this map faster than I expected. It's still slower than your usual session, of course, because of the commons constantly blocking me, but it's expected considering my self-impulse rules. Chapter 3 is the hardest non-finale chapter of this map because the path during the panic event in this chapter is so f***ing janky. Unlike chapter 2 where you just go full Sonic mode and sprint ahead. We did the usual slow progressing across the chapter while getting supplies until we arrived at the Rusty Ramp panic event. I learned my mistake from the previous chapter and decided to evaluate our situation first before activating the event. We have the same options as the airliner panic event here. We can either rush or stay back and hold out on a good spot to kill the Horde. Since we fought a tank earlier in this chapter, I decided to rush. I threw the Baljar, then completely disregarded the main path and went to the flooded corners to take a shortcut, using an adrenaline shot to bypass the water slowdown. It almost didn't go well, I have to admit, but everyone was fine after this stressful event. The finale is known for its sudden difficulty spike due to the double tank encounter at the second tank fight, but honestly, that is literally our only concern for this finale. Because in my opinion, the general difficulty of this finale is just as hard, if not close to Death Toll's finale. I am not shitting with you. Without the double tank fight, this finale is piss easy. It has a very effective holding spot, and as long as you know how to kite tanks, you should be fine. You think the spot with the HMG is the best spot in this finale? Nah, anyone playing on Advanced or Expert wouldn't even dare touching that spot. Don't you just love it when a mounted gun is placed on a spot where the infected can easily give you back shots? This is the perfect spot for this finale. The infected has only 3 entries, all from the same general direction. It even comes with some pain pills or adrenaline shots. And if you think our major weakness here is the spitter as expected, keep in mind that this spot also has this conveniently placed staircase that we can use to avoid the spit puddle without making ourselves too vulnerable. We literally just breezed through this finale without breaking a sweat because of this. And as for the double tank fight, what I did is to immediately find and face the first tank in order for the bots to kill it quickly. This way we won't have the problem of facing 2 tanks at once. We also pulled this off perfectly. One last thing to do before the rescue section initiates is to not camp the gate and stay in the middle of the arena with the Baljar ready. This way, the first tank during the rescue section will have a higher chance to spawn inside the plantation instead of directly outside the gate, and make a run for it.
Everyone to the boat. Come on now, get on the boat here.
That was kind of boring. This map was easy as hell. Oh my god. 0 kills. I think Hard Rain is easy as well. We're getting really close to the finish line, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks the Lord we have another easy map, Hard Rain. I really appreciate the break the game is giving us after the first 3 Left 4 Dead 2 maps. While this map is absolutely f***ing scary and expert because of the abundance of white edgy emo women in this map, it's pretty much a pushover on normal difficulty in comparison. The main selling point of this map is the backtracking level design, forcing players to be resourceful when it comes to supplies, which is why in the beginning of chapter 1, I decided to not take the Baljar on the counter, as there's a high chance that I would find another one that I would use for later. We didn't have that much luck here as a tank spawned after a while, but thankfully, he spawned near an open space with no cars around to punch, so he was taken care of quickly. Later, I finally found a Baljar in one of the houses. I swear, I've never seen anyone actually exploring the houses around this area, which really sucks because they usually contain a good amount of supplies and tier 1 or 2 weapons that can be easily missed. Just before entering the safe room, a random horde spawned, so I hurried fast to the safe room, but Coach had other ideas and decided to get out just as I closed the door for some reason. When it was reopened, the horde made its way inside the safe room, and the bots just stood at the opposite side of the wall and I got swarmed. of this shit because of Coach being a fucking dumbass. My head felt like it was about to explode from anger, and because of this, Coach would then suffer from a medical condition called hyperbukemia. Hyper meaning high, buck meaning buckshot, and emia meaning presence in blood. High buckshot presence in blood. This condition was so critical that he fell to the floor twice in a row, but thankfully, he was able to treat himself using magical duct tape and he made a recovery.
Okay, that was very lame, I'm so sorry.
Chapter 2 is where things get a bit scary. Welcome to Witch Town.
Shut the f up, you
Thank goodness these are just standing witches. This chapter would have been extremely annoying if it spawned sitting witches instead. We all know that shooting these edgy women will make them go crazy in full Sonic mode on your ass, but for some reason, the bots have a special privilege when it comes to standing witches. While they will not actively shoot them unless they're already startled, they can sometimes be hit by the stray bullets, usually because a common is too close to them. But they will not be triggered by this, unlike sitting witches where it doesn't matter if it's a stray or an intentional shooting, they will be startled. This actually made chapter 2 really easy, as I just needed to let the standing witches get out of the way.
Can we f***ing not with this sweaty special infected? F***ing straight up tried dragging me to the witch. Bro thinks this is competitive versus f*** off.
But what about the elevator panic event? It's another easy event where I don't even need a bell jar for. Players usually camp near the elevator for this event, which works most of the time, but as for me, I am not taking any chances, and I had a different strategy. Well, that is if you can even call this a strategy. Instead of camping here, we camp here. And this f***ing spot is the exact reason why. Yes, the usual spot works, but I don't like the fact that you can suddenly get attacked by special infected after climbing that wall. F***ing withered foxy jumpscare type shit. This spot keeps the same number of entries by the infected without that bullshit. So anyways, after carefully going through the tall grass, we arrive at the save point. Both chapters 3 and 4 do not have events, but they are still kinda stressful to navigate because of the reduced visibility, flooding, and both chapters having a moderate chance of spawning a tank. Though the map helps a bit by giving an alternate route, so we mostly don't have to deal with the water. Choosing to go for this route is not a complete foolproof plan though.
What the f***? You f***ing weirdo! Out of all the places you can spawn, Jesus f***ing Christ, man!
One unique gimmick that this map has is the occasional storm that will reduce the visibility even more, summon a mini horde, and brutally assault your ears if you have your audio max out. It's pretty simple to deal with this though, you just need to take cover, usually inside the house, and make sure to stick together. So yeah, nothing really significant happened between these chapters. They are that easy if you know what you're doing. There was a tank fight on chapter 4, but it didn't really put up much of a fight. I will say though, that tank fights, particularly in this map, are f***ing scary on expert difficulty because of the reduced movement speed and the tank being able to one-shot you. The finale is very easy as well. I don't really need to worry about not being able to set the tank on fire here because I can't use a Molotov anyway. And the commons are easy to deal with since they take a while to get to us and we can gun them down early. We do have to watch out for special infected though, as they can easily disrupt our position. I know that the tank will always spawn far away from us, so I know that we can gun him down and lower his HP before he can even get to the roof of the burger tank store. When he does manage to get up, we can circle around him using the hole on the roof, which should give the bots enough time to kill him. One thing that you should always do here is to not camp near the rescue boat is going to be before the tanks start spawning, as this will cause the tanks to spawn near the rescue area, which is especially dangerous for this finale, as the tanks will always be able to get to you before the boat does, causing a huge risk of being punched off the area and instantly die in the water. I was camping in the middle of the entire arena, so the tanks spawned very far from us, and since I had 2 vial jars here, one from my inventory and one in the counter, I saved it from chapter 1, remember?
This is big brain time.
We pretty much received absolute zero resistance in the rescue section.
Wow, we didn't even need the second vial jar. Remember kids, do not camp the boat. Let the boat come to you first and then you get inside. I definitely didn't have to learn that the hard way.
there it is. The canonically final map in the Left 4 Dead 2 story. I don't want to look super excited just from the fact that we're almost done with this challenge, because I know that from this point, things are about to get really serious, and I really need to lock in. Chapter 1 is the calm before the storm. It's very short, has no events, but still has a decent chance to spawn a tank. It's also a bit annoying to travel since most of the path is quite narrow, which is guaranteed to slow us down due to constant body blocking. Overall, it's a decent chapter and it's not too bad. If you're struggling to finish this chapter despite playing carefully, blame the RNG at that point, because it's mostly because of the director being a bitch with tank spawns and random hordes on such a small chapter. Chapter 2 immediately cranks up the difficulty, being a long chapter with a difficult crescendo event near the end. Think of this as like the second chapter of Dark Carnival, except the event is on f***ing steroids. You can't even rush the beginning of this chapter, as right off the bat, the game immediately spawns 1 million commons outside the safe room. Oh, and also a random horde after like 20 seconds.
Because why the f*** not, am I right?
We then arrive at this huge ass park. There are some supplies and tier 1 or 2 weapons around here, so it's generally worth exploring the whole place. A little bit later, we get more supplies in the area under the freeway, although the director here has a tendency to go crazy with the wandering commons, so it's a small price to pay, I guess. Afterwards, we arrive at the trailer to prepare for the Evacuation Center Crescendo event. For an event being introduced quite early within the map itself, this is a surprisingly intense and difficult event. Even if you play your cards right and you know what you're doing, a bit of bad luck and a small mishap is enough to f*** things up for the survivors. You have to haul ass and quickly go around these fences, all while the commons can just take a shortcut towards you and climb over them. Not only a Baljar is required here, and not only I have to be careful on using it due to commons all over the place, I also need to time its usage right. I decided that the best place to use it is in this spot with the buses. Throwing it immediately after starting the event doesn't give us enough time to go all the way to the ladders. We are guaranteed to face some commons near that area and run the risk of accidentally stepping on them while we try to climb the ladders. While we are also guaranteed to face commons at the end of the second corridor upon holding on to the Baljar, at least we don't have anything to climb up there, and as long as the bots are decently close, they should be able to clear the way a bit. The area with the buses is usually empty anyway, so it is absolutely safe to throw the Baljar there. In addition to that, after the Baljar's effect wears off, we are very likely to have the alarm turn off already, and they would need to climb another fence to get to us. Now, one really annoying aspect of this event is that not only the horde will actually linger for some time after turning off the alarm, we have to wait for this door to open by itself, which means that we are forced to fight the rest of the horde. That's just really f***ing annoying, as crescendo events are supposed to be designed to make players rush through a horde and turn off whatever is causing the horde to swarm the survivors. It's more on strategizing rather than holding your ground. But nah, let's reward the players who went through hell going through the horde and turning off the alarm as fast as they can with another big horde and make sure they are forced to fight them. Now, I know it's expected to have a small section of the horde still lingering around after a crescendo event ends, but this one is different. The game straight up spawns an extra horde, a big horde at that, after the alarm is already turned off. What's the f***ing context for this extra horde? The alarm is already off.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
In order to deal with this, after turning off the alarm, I rushed to the leftmost corner of the area and camped there. It's a pretty solid place to camp, and it's actually better than just fighting the extra horde at the wide open. Gotta watch out for spitters though, as usual. I know we also have the option to stay on top of the tower, but the commons will try to climb up there. And I am paranoid as shit, and I don't want to run the risk of accidentally stepping on them. After a bit more time, the horde finally stops and we can proceed. And the safe room is not that far from here. Gotta hurry a bit though, as there's still a chance for a random horde to spawn during this. As if the f***ing crescendo event we just did isn't enough! Chapter 3, despite having no events, is actually harder than Chapter 2 because this chapter's difficulty mostly comes from its length, gimmicks, and unpredictability. It mostly consists of narrow spaces, multiple one-way paths, and a very anxiety-inducing section with the multiple alarm cars. As expected, due to the narrow spaces, this chapter was very slow. It was very stressful as well, as it had multiple drops surrounded by commons that really want to snip Alice's speed. I swear to god, these fetishes are getting out of hand.
I want to see them grippers.
Due to how long this chapter is, tanks and witches are guaranteed to spawn. However, in my winning attempt, the tank spawned during the multiple alarm cars section. A lot of players consider this as a really bad thing, but no, in my opinion, this is actually a good thing because the tank will very likely punch the alarm cars, which doesn't actually trigger a horde. Sure, a situation like this is certainly not the best thing to be in, but if you are with a bunch of idiots who simply refuse to be careful in this part, just let the tank f up the cars then kill him. Like they don't give a shit about watching where they would shoot anyway, like the monkey brain asses they are. Monkey see big monster, monkey prioritize shooting big monster. As for my situation, even if the bots cannot trigger alarm cars, having a tank spawn here is not really as bad as you think. As long as no one triggers an alarm car while fighting the tank, things should be fine. Some of the cars in the back end are actually not punchable and you can use them to kite the tank. The cemetery part can be a little annoying considering the layout is actually random, but it's not that bad really. Chapter 4 tones things down a bit. Although I usually consider this chapter easier than chapters 2 and 3, for this challenge specifically, it definitely was one of the most annoying non-finale chapters in general. Why the f does this chapter take place in narrow spaces 80% of the time? This was on par with the 4th chapter of No Mercy when it came to being a bitch to navigate. Not to mention it had some multiple drops too, which means even more foot fetish shenanigans. This chapter actually took the longest to finish because of those. It became super boring really quickly because of how long this chapter would take. Per attempt, I should say. Rushing this chapter is not really a reliable option here because 1. Tight spaces. We already established how random common deaths would get when it comes to shoving. At this point of the challenge, I really started locking in, doing whatever it takes to minimize risk as much as possible. 2. The bots. If we are being slowed down, then no doubt the bots would be twice as that. Being far from the bots when I am not allowed to kill anything is already a bad idea. Having the bots to deal with the complex navigation just exacerbates that problem. 3. Spitters. I don't know whose idea it was to make the bots completely brain dead for a few seconds after stepping on a spit puddle, but I am going to bonk you aggressively for that. In Minecraft. Being surrounded by commons all the time due to the tight spaces is already bad enough. Add a spit puddle to the mix. Although the event for this chapter is also boring as shit, at least it's a lot easier than the evacuation center crescendo event. For starters, it's only a panic event, which is really good news for us. It doesn't take a genius to realize that panic events are a lot easier than crescendo events. It also has a very good holding spot, although we still need to be careful during this. As good as this spot may get, we don't have much space to move around, and getting down is just a death sentence. It also lingers for quite a while, so we need to be very patient and finish the entire horde before proceeding. The path next to this event is filled with tight spaces, so trying to skip the rest of the event by jumping at the platform prematurely is not a good idea. So overall, it's not the worst thing in the world. My only issue for this is that this chapter is very slow due to how it's designed. And keep in mind that I had to keep doing this shit per attempt. In one of my attempts, I got so bored that I deadass started falling asleep.
Somebody start the dragon.
Oh no!
Wake the fuck up! Get off, you stupid bitch!
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Are you serious, my brother?
does a lot of things in her sleep, okay?
I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass.
Somehow got past that while being asleep half of the time. I'll take it, I guess.
Chapter 5, the bridge finale, the main star of this map. Words cannot explain how difficult and annoying this was. There's a reason this was originally the only map that has a gauntlet finale. Valve knew how difficult and frustrating it can get. This finale is already hard enough on its own normally, especially when you are with uncoordinated players, and obviously, bots. Now we're doing this without killing a single infected. There's just so much things that can go wrong here even if you played carefully. The bots are slow as which is a problem not because they are, but because you're the one leading them, and they just do a really job on following and covering you. You have to balance rushing this finale and waiting for these slots to catch up to you, which is really bad considering how gauntlet finales work. The more time you spend trying to finish this the more likely you're gonna be overwhelmed. The dangers of encountering special infected here has also been amplified because of the layout of the bridge. Hunters and jockeys blend in the horde. Boomers have lots of cover to surprise attack you. Actually, they barely even need the covers because these dumbasses take so long to shoot boomers from a distance despite having a clear line of sight of them. And then the boomer gets close to me and they actually cannot shoot it at that point because they are programmed to not shoot a boomer when a survivor is close to it, even if said survivor is already boomed. Smokers love spawning at the top of the bridge, and they just suddenly behave like expert smokers, waiting for the perfect opportunity to attack like they're having multiple calculations processing in their brain. Spitters are even more dangerous because I'm always being swarmed. If a spitter spits at the right angle, I'm either forced to just take it and probably get in cap, or try to shove the commons around me, risking the small chance of accidentally killing one and having to start the entire map over again. And I don't even need to say anything about the chargers. The holes and the gaps around you just speak for themselves. Thankfully, the tank isn't too bad. It's still bullshit since we pretty much can't avoid it and I need to kite it, but thankfully it's not as bad as I thought it would be. We just need to be a safe distance and bait it with his rock throws so that he's standing still most of the time, making it easier for the boss to gun him down. The next section is hands down the most nerve-wracking part of this finale. This f***ing part with the slanted bridge makes me sweat from massive anxiety every single time. A single bad special infected encounter here can really f*** things up for us. Not to mention that there's this drop right here where I need to be super careful and avoid dropping directly to a common's head, which is easier said than done because they just keep coming. While all of this is happening, you have to pray that the director doesn't spawn a charger here, as it's virtually impossible to avoid being depth charged once the son of a bitch has a direct line of sight of you. This is the perfect time to use a ball jar here. And as always, make sure that it doesn't hit any infected. If I don't have a ball jar at this point, then God help us. It's still possible, it's just the timing to start making a run for it will be much more strict. After a successful throw, immediately follow up with an adrenaline shot and make a run for it. Do not look back, just f***ing run. Are you fucking? Oh my god, I'm actually gonna fucking myself. Oh, I'm actually gonna fucking
myself. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna kill myself.
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
This finale is gonna be an absolute to finish, and if I accidentally kill a single common infected here, either by stepping on them or that small chance of one shot, one kill bullshit, I have to go all the way from the beginning of this map, which was mentally draining as fuck considering how slow the chapters are in this map. It was absolutely not going to be easy. I just need to try and try and try again until that one attempt finally shines its light for us.
I ain't going no further, but y'all can make it back to the bridge from here.
You're all right, Virgil.
Aye, now y'all take real good care now.
All right, people. Let's get to that bridge.
You mean that blurry line on the horizon? Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, but that's just the bridge
Yeah, safe house, y'all.
Weapons over here.
I got it.
Reloading.
Get to the other path. Hey, we're gonna make it out of here. Head to the helicopter.
Let's go. Everyone to the helicopter.
Get to the chopper. Let's go.
Let's go. Everyone to the chopper. We're taking off. Rescue down affirmative. Visual inspection inside. Affirmative. Stop.
Oh my god! Oh, fucking finally! Holy shit! Oh, yes! Just one more map. Just one more fucking map. Oh my god.
Cold Scream. I already fucking hated this map before my brain even started thinking about this challenge. Unsurprisingly, I now hate it even more. I just don't get why Valve looked at the map Two Evil Eyes and thought, holy shit, A custom map that features frustrating gameplay by spamming the absolute living shit out of hordes, events, and special infected? Let's hire this guy to make an official map. What could go wrong?
Alright. Tofu, would you mind giving your thoughts on about this map?
Oh, well. The only thoughts that I have right now is killing myself. Oh.
While Coldstream is definitely better than Two Evil Eyes, you have to consider that Valve had a huge part on polishing, playtesting, and redesigning this map. But unfortunately, the map creator clearly didn't learn from his mistakes from making Two Evil Eyes and made the map unbalanced as fuck. Let us begin, shall we? Chapter 1 is not too bad, although that's not really saying much when you compare it to the other chapters. It's still a little bit annoying because of how the path is designed, but I have very low expectations going through this map for this challenge anyway, so f it. The first landmark is this shed right here, which I always go through every attempt since it's guaranteed to spawn a magnum and a decent chance for a bile jar. Next is this bridge, which is kinda annoying to get down to because of the wandering commons. I had to deadass train myself to try not to jump during this because we don't want to stomp on commons.
No! Oh, why did I jump? That is so dumb.
Later, we arrive at this two-story building and we need to drop down from the second floor. Well, that's just wonderful, isn't it? Even more opportunities to accidentally step on a common's head. It's like this chapter was designed to be f***ing annoying specifically for this challenge. I know that there's also a shed at the left corner before the two-story building, but I decided to not go there because it has a guaranteed hunting rifle, and I don't really want the bots to carry sniper rifles, and you already know the reason why. Just ahead is a bunker where the safe room is inside, and we need to open the sliding door which summons a panic event for some f***ing reason. Yeah, this is a prime example of the map creator not learning his lesson from making Two Evil Eyes. We are deadass just 10 meters away from the safe room and he still couldn't f***ing help himself and have to implement a panic event here. Thankfully, you don't actually need to open the sliding door all the way here. You can just slide it just enough for the survivors to fit and jump in. But of course, since this is a drop while a horde is active, shit like this can happen.
Man, I'm gonna break my monitor, I swear!
Chapter 2 is an absolute f***ing abomination. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. This chapter is just not fun to play even outside doing this challenge. As soon as you get out of the safe room... Like, how the f*** does this even work? Genuinely, I need someone to scientifically explain this to me. Science language, programming language, whatever the f*** language, I don't care. Thankfully, and I'm pretty sure you have noticed by now, but you take half damage when you get hit from behind. So what I did here is to just turn around and walk backwards, so I would take less damage from the wandering commons and I don't have to deal with the most nonsensical flashbang in the world. At the end of the cave are some tier 2 weapons. Kinda questionable as to why these weapons would be in here instead of the safe room that we're just in half a minute ago, but I'll take it. A bunch of wandering commons in a random horde later, and we face the scripted tank encounter. Now, I have to admit that this part is actually cool, with the way how the tank is introduced to the players. I was genuinely amazed as a kid when I first saw this, before getting splatted by the falling boulder Terraria style. Fortunately, this tank is not really threatening on normal difficulty since he only has 4000 HP, the bots were already carrying tier 2 weapons, and he kept f***ing delaying himself with the rock throws, so they just shredded him before he even got to us. We get a bit of supplies as a reward and we press on. Oh great, more opportunities to accidentally Goomba stomp on an infected. I guess I have to go back and forth trying to aggro these sons of bitches for the next 2 minutes. Oh great, yet another opportunity to accidentally Goomba stomp on an infected. Isn't this just great? For the record, I don't really blame the map for that. It's just wild that these paths work against me perfectly for this challenge. A little bit later and we arrive at the Barrel Explosion Gauntlet Crescendo event. I'm not really sure what to call this, so I just called it that. Where do I even start with this event? It's really funny that this is basically a custom map, as it really perfectly radiates custom map energy. You have to bum rush through an extremely relentless horde, all while you're running through a water stream that can interfere with your movement, and later being in a very dark and narrow series of staircases. While this is not actually the hardest event in the game, that title belongs to the Stadium Gate event of Dark Carnival, it ended up being the hardest event specifically for this challenge. Let me explain. The main reason why the Stadium Gate event is harder is not just because of the horde intensity, but because of the rarity of bile jars in Dark Carnival. In Coldstream, you are basically guaranteed to have a bile jar at this point. Hell, definitely more than one. But in a challenge like this, where our entire team can only carry one bile jar, that rarity barely becomes a problem. Second, the Barrel Explosion Gauntlet Crescendo event lasts considerably longer than the Stadium Gate Gauntlet Crescendo event. This ended up being the main reason as to why this event felt harder for this challenge. With only one bile jar in our hands, we can only progress much before being swarmed again, which is a really big problem once we get in the narrow areas. And boy, this f***ing part is just pure mental torture. We don't have much space, and the hordes at this point are always f***ing spawning ahead of us, even in places that doesn't make sense. Although I don't really fault the map for this, Valve actually does something even worse, which is spawning the horde inside the f***ing safe room. Like, what the hell, man? We can't do that shit in Versus. Seriously? Don't worry, it gets worse. For the entirety of this event, we are constantly descending. So you know what that means. More opportunities to accidentally Goomba stomp on an infected. Absolutely f***ing wonderful, isn't it?
Die in a fucking fire.
So what do we do here? Well, first and foremost, bring a bile jar. If you reach this event without a bile jar,
you should yourself now
and restart the chapter, because you ain't getting past this without getting a brain aneurysm. I mean, it's still possible, but I won't even bother trying. Second, watch your step. Be absolutely careful on where you're placing those feet, as apparently it's just as deadly as a f***ing gun. Third, face everything backwards. Yeah, we're doing this bristleback style.
Bring it! Or never turn me back to a fart. I'm kind of retarded.
Although the 50% damage reduction only applies to melee attacks from infected. I've been actually doing this for as early as the Forklift Gauntlet Crescendo event from Death Toll. It's just that it matters the most right now. Eventually, with enough time, patience, and most importantly, luck, we can get this dog shit event out of the way and finally finish this chapter. One funny thing that I would like to add here is that this event actually forces me to use a gun. But not for shooting the infected, of course. It's for the barrels to start the event. Now, I know I can just melee it and it will explode just fine, but yeah, I would not suggest doing that when you're with bots.
Back it up.
Oh shit! Out of the way! Oh, for fuck's sake!
Chapter 3 is a bit easier than Chapter 2, but I shit you not, it's actually more annoying than Chapter 2. It genuinely surprised me that it managed to be like that, but it is what it is. I'm gonna summarize this chapter in a single word. Body blocking. Despite this chapter taking place mostly in the open, there are some really extra tight spaces, and the infected makes f***ing sure that they're going to take advantage of it. I mean, literally at the beginning of this chapter, and something like this can happen.
Really? You cannot be freaking serious right now, bro. These dumbasses just makes me want to opt for my existence sometimes. I am so flabbergasted right now.
Oh, you thought that was bad already? Wait until you climb up that ladder and be greeted by 1,000 common infected and a random horde shortly after. A little bit later, and we arrived at this f***ed-up bridge, a small break from the commons being annoying. At the end of the bridge is a fuel tanker on fire. Upon getting closer, that fire gets bigger and the tanker explodes, starting the first panic event. Yes, you heard me. First. This chapter has 2 events just like the 4th chapter of Dead Air. Though to be honest, the overall difficulty of these events is not too hard. It's above average, but it's not really unfair. The reason why it was extremely annoying though is the way how the path forward is built. Like, what the f is this? By itself, there's really nothing wrong with it. But if I am not allowed to kill any infected and I am playing with bots, the statement of commons having an obsession of cosplaying as the Great Freaking Wall of China is beyond the shadow of a doubt. I definitely felt like I lost some brain cells every time I had to deal with this shit. These motherfuckers will just relentlessly edge this shit out of you. After that long-ass horde was finally done, we have another event to deal with, and this one is a bit easier. The moment we enter this junkyard, the bridge above gets the American treatment, starting the second panic event. This one was a bit annoying because of the unusually high number of special infected that can spawn here, and those motherfuckers will make sure that some of them will always spawn near the safe room just to f*** with you if you ever decided to bomb rush through this event. Don't even try rushing this event if you don't have an adrenaline shot. Even if you have one, it's still not guaranteed for you to get past this event without having a special infected being f***ing magnetized to your face. Of course, you have the option to hold this one out. It'll take a while, but definitely shorter than the average custom map panic event length. But the distance you have to travel here is not too far, and honestly, I hope you guys can understand my mindset during this. In addition to the short distance, I was really impatient at this point, and I really wanted to finish this challenge as soon as possible. As not only this took way longer than I expected, the psychological damage this shit has done to me was simply becoming too much. So I was being careless here and was trying to rush it as fast as possible. It worked most of the time, so I didn't give a shit about the risk anymore. And now we have the finale. I don't think my own words can fully explain on how annoying and difficult this was. As the final obstacle in this challenge, it surely felt like the final boss. Think of this finale as the Parish's Bridge finale, except it's 5 times worse. Why? Well, while you are busy going through hell with the Infinite Horde and the specials really loving to spawn up the upper sides, you have 0 cover throughout all of this. You cannot strategize with this event. The only option you have here is pure brute force. There's a reason why the Parish's Bridge finale has lots of vehicles aside from just letting the Horde have valid spaces to spawn. They can be used as cover, parkour usage, and high ground advantage. A wise man once said, "The common infected's best friend is an open space." Truer words have never been spoken. The only things that can save you from those bullshit is having a good aim and response time. But I don't need to tell you why that's completely irrelevant in this challenge. Being not allowed to kill a single infected while going through an endless horde as fast as you can that has 0 cover with you being in the lead is just a surefire way to get your HP f***ed up very quickly. As for the special infected, there's really nothing we can do other than to at least try to avoid them, which is easier said than done when you're being constantly spanked by the commons. So it really all comes down to luck. Eventually, you will reach this area and oh great, more opportunities to Goomba Stomp. I was just about to run out of those. For this one, you really need to watch your step. Once an opportunity presents itself, immediately take advantage of it. And don't forget the special infected during this specific situation. These motherfuckers just love ambushing you when you're finally about to make a difficult action. You also need to make sure that there's not much common infected below after making the jump, because the moment you get down, A tank will spawn, and you have to make sure that the coast is clear before the fight. There's not much space around here, so taking damage during this fight is almost impossible. Just make sure that the bots have a line of sight of the tank for maximized DPS to kill the tank as fast as possible. Next is this. Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
Yeah, the only thing I can do here is to keep moving forward while facing backwards and crouch. This way, we would take half melee damage, and the bots will be able to kill the infected a bit more efficiently. During this section, you gotta hope to god that a spitter or a charger doesn't spawn here. A spitter managing to spit at us during this is almost guaranteed to incap us, and the charger sending you back is just a f you from the director at that point, considering how slow this section can get. After getting out of the tunnel, we arrived at the technical service depot, the last spot before the rescue section. This is where we must make our final pit stop before proceeding further, restocking ammo for the bots, using first aid kits, and saving either pain pills or an adrenaline shot. Before entering the final rescue section, make sure that there are no commons around and throw a bell jar far away. You have a very brief window of time for this situation to happen, so make sure to immediately recognize and take advantage of it. Once that happens, you have only one objective left. The one objective that we have always been doing throughout this entire challenge, except this time, without a shadow of a doubt, it definitely matters the most.
Somebody's help just for 5 seconds.
Come on, get on board.
Everybody, get in the ball.
Come on, get on. I can't hold it here much longer. Move it.
Six kills. Really? Oh my god. I had no kills on the first 3 chapters. You're telling me that those 6 kills came completely from all of my shoving. Funny game.
It goes without saying that this is no doubt easier said than done. Even if you did everything right, literally just a small bit of bad luck can ruin everything. And when that happens, you have to restart the entire map. That means that you have to do these difficult and annoying events over and over and over again, and this is not even considering the other annoying aspects of this chapter. The random step kills upon opening the bunker door in chapter 1, the abundance of drops in chapter 2, the tight passages in chapter 3, all of these really frustrating aspects combined with the events can rot your brain real fast. Dead Air, The Sacrifice, Dark Carnival, The Parish, those maps were difficult, but they were somewhat manageable. But Coldstream? It's just bullshit! this went on for so long that I had to temporarily drop it because I had to focus on my job and my personal life. Of course, I would occasionally do some attempts, but this time, I was truly stuck. I kept asking myself the same question over and over. When will this shit finally end?
We've got to find a way around this fire. Come on, y'all. This way.
Weapons up. Let's go. Reloading. All right, get ready, y'all. I'm opening the door. Hey, I need everybody inside now. Man, we burned your asses. Up. Here comes the fire, you sons of bitches. Oh, shit. Run, run, run! Hey, we got a safe room right ahead. Hey, we are a right damn good team.
finally over! It's finally over! Oh my god! My soul is free! My soul is finally free! Oh god! Fuck this map! Fuck this map! My soul is free!
Finally, after hours upon hours of attempts, multiple cursed RNG sessions, and probably an unnecessarily large amount of ibuprofen taken, the final map has been finally vanquished. It obviously wasn't easy, but we eventually got to the finish line. I finally accomplished all of my objectives in this challenge, proving that it's indeed possible to beat Left 4 Dead 2 without killing a single infected. Well, that's pretty much it. This definitely took a while, didn't it? If you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. I genuinely hope you like watching this rather painful adventure that I had. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And before this video ends, to my 61 subscribers who have been maybe wondering why I haven't been uploading for such a long time, well, blame this video. Well, it's not fully responsible, but definitely played a huge part. I simply did not expect this entire project to be this gigantic. I severely underestimated it. In addition to that, I also had to take care of my personal life and my actual job, so it was just a perfect storm. I'm so sorry. But hey, now that I finally freed myself from this project, I can finally start uploading a bit more frequently now, and boy, I have so many ideas already, so make sure to stay tuned. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.